You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the April 7th meeting of the LaPorte County Regional Sewer and Water District Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
I'd like to call the August 7th special meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, start with roll call. Jennifer?
John Carr. Not here. Marcella Kunstig.
Here.
Jerry Jackson. Here. Mitch Bishop. Corey Campbell. Not here. Mark Danielson. Not here. Amanda Laners.
Here.
We have 4 for a quorum.
Okay, first item is consideration of First Amendment to amended and reinstated rate ordinance. Public hearing, so I'd like to create a motion, or I'd like to hear a motion.
I think the motion would be to have second reading and conduct the public hearing, and if there's,
I'll make that motion.
and we probably need to read the ordinance again, so if somebody doesn't object, we could do it by title only, and I'd be happy to do that for the board.
Perfect.
So I got a motion from Marcy, second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So this would be the second reading and public hearing of the LaPorte County Regional Sewer and Water District First Amendment to the amended and restated sewer rate ordinance, an ordinance amending the amended and restated sewer rate ordinance, which the prior ordinance number was 2024-01, and establishing a schedule of rates and charges to be collected by the district from owners of property served or to be served by the district's Hudson and Saugony Lake wastewater system Phase 1 project.
All right, thank you.
It's phase 1 project, namely this project.
Correct.
Okay, so the next phase, potentially different rates depending on the cost,
That's correct.
depending on how many grants.
And that would be
Correct.
phase.
Okay.
Okay. I guess starting off, Steve, you want to give a brief summary?
Okay,
Open up to the
so the ordinance that was introduced at the last meeting and set for public hearing had a base rate of $120 per EDU. The amended ordinance that you have for consideration today has a revised EDU rate of $115, and that is based on the sheet that I think all of you have. Basically, we took the 6 different options provided in the bid pack from the engineers and stratified those out and took those costs and then divided it by the number of users. So one side of the page you have is the costs of all 6 options, and then the second flip side of the page is the rate analysis for each one of those. They're all pretty close, but our recommendation and the engineer's recommendation is that the most cost-effective approach to this would be to do all 5 alternates plus the base bid, which yields the rate of $115.
And that to be determined, the user charge and debt service, as the project progresses, we get more users, that potentially could go down, right?
I didn't quite hear you. What was that, Mitch?
The user charge and debt service, that's to be determined. As we get more customers, naturally, those would go.
Right. Well, it's more a function of when we close the loan, then I'll have a better understanding of what portion is going to be debt service and what's going to be
All right.
operating. But the total is the total at this point.
Did you guys already break down all the alternates? Like, I mean, I know I saw them all on the bid, the day we bid, but I didn't actually know
Did you get this sheet, Marcy?
this.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well-
and I saw like the different options. I don't want to take too much time on this.
If you flip it over,
Okay.
it actually translates those options into rates.
The second to the last line from the bottom on the flip side.
Page 3,
I don't. Okay.
13 and 160.
No, I saw the monthly amounts, but I just didn't know the breakdowns on the alts.
You mean like where they're located?
Like, yeah, like what they are.
I can walk you through it.
That's okay. I think we're kind of under a time constraint. But your recommendation is that we take all the alts?
Yes.
Because that, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, that's adding.
So we end up with 101 connections as opposed to the base bid, which would be 66 once you factor the exemptions that are already on file.
You guys okay with that?
They need to do it.
I mean, it's like a million. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Steve. I guess anybody from the public wish to speak, they'll be limited to 3 minutes, and it would be specifically on the rate ordinance that's before us in this public hearing. Anybody from the public or Zoom? All right, come on up.
Good morning.
Please state your name and address. Too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Glenn Nolte, 5782 East, 800 North, Rolling Prairie. I'm fortunate enough to live right on Saugony Lake, and I stand in favor of the sewer project. And just a quick question: is the rate sheet, is that available to the public? I'd like to get one of those.
Sure.
And we appreciate you all trying
you.
to move forward.
There you go, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Zoom? Oh, I get one more here. Okay.
Good morning. Hope everybody had a good weekend.
Morning.
Hi.
My name is Mark Ewer, 5791 East Sagana Trail. I've been at a few meetings up to this point in time, and I'm definitely in opposition to the whole thing. With regards to the rates themselves, what are the odds that the other phases are going to come through with funding, or are we going to be stuck with just this first 100 people being connected, and never again will other people for years and years be connected, and we're stuck with something that's only for us, which are, and the majority of us are part-time residents. There's only 14 residents that are full-time on the lake out of the 49. Just seems like a waste of money. But anyway, with regards to the rates, how often historically have rates changed? Because they're never going to go down. They're only going to go up. And what are the odds of the new phases coming in? And you said the cost could vary by how the funding comes in, the financing, the money from the state, from local, and from LaPorte County. I think it'd be drastically unfair for those in the first phase to pay anything more than what the other phases that are coming in. Well, we're all using the same sewer system. So I think there's some other considerations to take into account. I know I'm on the agenda. I missed the date for the cutoff for the exemption, but I'd like a waiver of that. So I know I'm on the agenda for the next meeting, but just be sensitive. There's a lot of people on that lake that are fixed income retirees that don't have access to $120 or $115 a month. You may be forcing people to sell a property that they shouldn't have to sell. So I just wanted to express that opinion. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Zoom? Okay. Then public comment is concluded. Then I guess we would take we could end the public hearing then?
Yes.
Ask for a motion to suspend the hearing.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So I would think if the board's intent is to pass the ordinance today, you'd want to take a vote to have third reading at this same meeting. That'd be the first vote. Then I can read the ordinance for a third time, and then you'd actually take a vote up, thumbs down on the actual ordinance.
Move to have a third reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Proceed.
So this would be the third and final reading of the LaPorte County Regional Sewer and Water District First Amendment to the amended and restated sewer rate ordinance, an ordinance amending the amended and restated sewer rate ordinance, and establishing a schedule of rates and charges to be collected by the district from owners of property served or to be served by the district's Hudson and Saugony Lake Wastewater System Phase 1 project.
Well, thank you. And so I'd like to ask for a motion on the third reading.
I move to approve the ordinance as read.
You got a motion? A second?
Second?
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good. All right, moving on then. Consideration of amended and restated bond ordinance. That's,
I know Randy is on Zoom,
okay.
probably still can't hear us, but I do have him on speaker on my phone, so if there are any questions, we can address those to him.
And we probably ought to have, you can read it, anybody can read it, but we need to have a second reading and then move on to third reading, but somebody needs to read it. And I would think unless somebody objects, you'd want it by title only unless you want to read 30 pages of text this morning.
Not really. Here it is. An amendment and restated ordinance authorizing the acquisition, construction, and installation of certain improvements for the sewage work system of the LaPorte County Regional Sewer and Water District, the issuance of revenue bonds to provide the cost thereof, the collection, segregation, and distribution of the revenues of such system, the safeguarding of the revenues of such system, the safeguarding of the interest of the owners of such revenue bonds, and other matters connected therewith, including the issuance of notes in anticipation of such bonds and repealing ordinances inconsistent herewith. Go ahead and proceed.
Does Randy want to kind of give a super short summary? I know we got a great summary at the last meeting, but we're happy to hear if Randy's got a short summary of what we're doing.
Does he hear us?
You guys
Okay.
can hear me. I've been able to hear everything, so hopefully you can hear me. And I apologize. I should have just came over in person. I just thought the Zoom would work, but and it is working, I guess, with this. So thank you, Steve. This is basically just an amendment and restatement of the ordinance, and it authorizes bonds up to $35 million and forgivable bans or bans up to $5 million. This is sets out the parameters for the financing for the first phase of the project through the state, and essentially the need to do this amended and restated ordinance is largely in part because of the passage of time from when it was adopted previously. The state, through the SRF, has made some changes to their form documents and the way they like to see language in the ordinance. And so all we're doing here today is just really conforming the ordinance that was adopted a few years ago to this, to their current and present requirements. There's really nothing substantively that's different than what was adopted some years ago, other than technical items that the state now requires. So I'm happy to drone on about the ordinance, but I'm happy to answer any questions you may have as well.
Any questions for Randy? It's not a public hearing right now, so I'm sorry. Any questions from the board for Randy? No?
No.
Okay. I appreciate it, Randy.
Afterwards, we can talk. After the meeting, we can talk about it.
So basically, entertain a motion to support the amended bond.
I would have a motion to actually have third reading on the same day.
Okay.
And so it's the two vote process, just like we did for the rate ordinance.
Want to make that motion? Jerry?
Make a motion to read the bonded ordinance for a third time.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And so if you'd maybe read it again, Mr. Vice President.
All right. An amendment and restated ordinance authorizing the acquisition, construction, and installation of certain improvements for the sewage work system of the LaPorte County Regional Sewer and Water District, the issuance of revenue bonds to provide the cost thereof, the collection, segregation, and distribution of the revenues of such system, the safeguarding of the interest of the owners of such revenue bonds and other matters connected therewith, including the issuance of notes in anticipation of such bonds and repealing ordinances inconsistent herewith.
And I know I'm delaying the vote a second, but Jennifer, do you know the numbers? Because we have two ordinances.
Yeah.
And we have to call them 2025. One is going to be 01 and one is going to be 02. I know we talked about it at the last meeting, but I don't remember what we agreed to. But as long as you know.
I think the rate was 01 and then
Okay.
the bond was 02.
Great.
Good. All right, I'll take a final motion then from the board.
Motion to approve the restated bond ordinance?
Second.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes. So we're good. Anything else? No? Then adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Dan.
All in favor? Aye, aye, aye.
Aye.
Thanks.